All's well that ends well. Act 3. Scene 1. Flourish, enter the Duke of Florence, the two French lords, with a troop of soldiers. Duke. So from point to point now have you heard the fundamental reasons of this war, whose great decision hath much blood let forth, and more thirsts after. Holy seems the quarrel upon your grace's part, black and fearful on the opposer. Therefore we marvel much our cousin France would in so just a business shut his bosom against our bowering prayers. Good my lord, the reasons of our state I cannot yet yield, but like a common and outward man, that the great figure of a council frames by self-unable motion, therefore dare not say what I think of it, since I have found myself in my uncertain grounds to fail as often as I guessed. Be it his pleasure, but I am sure the younger of our nature, that surfight on their ease, will day by day come here for physic. Welcome shall they be, and all the honors that can fly from us shall on them settle. You know your places well. When better fall for your avails they fell, tomorrow to the field. Scene 2. Enter Countess and a clown. Countess. And a little water. It hath happened all as I would have had it, save that he comes not along with her. By my troth, I take my young lord to be a very melancholy man. By what observance, I pray you? Why, he will look upon his boot and sing, mend the ruff and sing, ask questions and sing, pick his teeth and sing. I know a man that had this trick of melancholy sold a goodly manor for a song. Let me see what he writes, and when he means to come. I have no mind to Isbel since I was at court. Our olding and our Isbels, the country, are nothing like your oldling and your Isbels at the court. The brains of my Cupids knocked out, and I begin to love, as an old man loves money, with no stomach. What have we here that you have there? I have sent you a daughter-in-law. She hath recovered the king, and undone me. I have wedded her, not bedded her, and sworn to make the knot eternal. You shall hear I am run away, know it before the report come. If there be breadth enough in the world, I will hold a long distance, my duty to you, your unfortunate son, Bertram. This is not well, rash and unbridled boy, to fly the favors of so good a king, to pluck his indignation on thy head by the misprizing of a maid too virtuous for the contempt of empire. Oh, madame, yonder is heavy news within between two soldiers and my young lady. What is the matter? Nay, there is some comfort in the news, some comfort. Your son will not be killed so soon as I thought he would. Why should he be killed? So say I, madame, if he run away, as I hear he does, the danger is in standing to it. That's the loss of men, though it be the getting of children. Here they come will tell you more For my part, I only hear your son was run away. Save you, good madame. Madame, my lord is gone, forever gone. Do not say so. Think upon patience, pray you, gentlemen. I have felt so many quirks of joy and grief, that the first face of neither on the start can woman me unto it. Where is my son? I pray you. Madame, he's gone to serve the Duke of Florence. We met him thitherward, for thence we came, and after some dispatch in hand at court, thither we bend again. Look on his letter, madame, here's my passport. When thou canst get the ring upon my finger, which never shall come off, and show me a child begotten of thy body that I am father to, then call me husband. But in such a then I write a never. This is a dreadful sentence. Brought you this letter, gentlemen? Madame, and for the contents' sake are sorry for our pains. I prithee, lady, have a better cheer. If thou engrossest all the griefs are thine, thou robbest me of a moiety. He was my son, but I do wash his name out of my blood, and thou art all my children. Towards Florence is he, madame, and to be a soldier. Such is his noble purpose, and believe it, the Duke will lay upon him all the honor that good convenience claims. Return you thither, madame, with the swiftest wing of speed. Till I have no wife, I have nothing in France, 'tis bitter. Find you that there, madame? 'Tis but the boldness of his hand, haply, which his heart was not consenting to. Nothing in France until he have no wife. There's nothing here that is too good for him, but only she, and she deserves a lord, that 20 such rude boys might tend upon, and call her hourly mistress. Who was with him? A servant only, and a gentleman, which I have sometime known. Paroles, was it not? My good lady, he. A very tainted fellow, and full of wickedness. My son corrupts a well-derived nature with his inducement. Indeed, good lady, the fellow has a deal of that too much, which holds him much to have. You're welcome, gentlemen. I will entreat you, when you see my son, to tell him that his sword can never win the honor that he loses. More I'll entreat you, written to bear along. We serve you, madame, in that and all your worthiest affairs. Not so, but as we change our courtesies, will you draw near? Till I have no wife, I have nothing in France. Nothing in France until he has no wife. Thou shalt have none, Roussillon, none in France. Then hast thou all again. Poor lord, is it I that chaseth thee from thy country, and expose those tender limbs of thine to the event of the none-sparing war? And is it I that drive thee from the sportive court, where thou wast shot at the fair eyes, to be the mark of smoky muskets? O you leaden messengers, that ride upon the violent speed of fire, fly with false aim, move the still peering air that sings with piercing, do not touch my lord. Whoever shoots at him, I set him there. Whoever charges on his forward breast, I am the caitiff that do hold him to it. And though I kill him not, I am the cause his death was so affected. Better tweer I met the raven lion when he roared with sharp constraint of hunger, Better twere that all the miseries which nature owes were mine at once. No, come thou home, Rossillon, whence honor but of danger wins a scar. As oft it loses all, I will be gone. My being here it is that holds thee hence. Shall I stay here to do it? No, no, although the air of paradise did fan the house, and angels officed all, I will be gone, that pitiful rumor may report my flight to consolate thine ear. Come night, end day, for with the dark poor thief I'll steal away. Scene 3. Flourish, enter the Duke of Florence, Bertram, Count of Rossillon, drum and trumpets, soldiers, paroles. Duke. The general of our horse thou art, and we, great in our hope, lay our best love and credence upon thy promising fortune. Sir, it is a charge too heavy for my strength, but yet will strive to bear it for your worthy sake to the extreme edge of hazard. Then go thou forth and fortune play upon thy prosperous helm at thy auspicious mistress. This very day, great Mars, I put myself into thy file. Make me but like my thoughts, and I shall prove a lover of thy drum, hater of love. Scene 4. Enter Countess and Steward. Countess. Alas, and would you take the letter of her? Might you not know she would do as she has done by sending me a letter? Read it again. Steward reads letter. I am St. Jack's pilgrim thither gone. Ambitious love hath so in me offended that barefoot plod I cold ground upon, with sainted vow my faults to have amended. Right, that from the bloody course of war, my dearest master, your dear son, may he bless him at home in peace, whilst I from far his name with zealous fervor sanctify. His taken labors bid him me forgive. I, his despiteful Juno, sent him forth from courtly friends with camping foes to live, where death and danger dogs the heels of worth. He is too good and fair for death and me, whom I myself embrace to set him free. Ah, what sharp stings are in her mildest words! Rinaldo, you did never lack advice so much as letting her pass so. I had spoke with her. I could have well diverted her intents, which thus she hath prevented. Pardon me, madame. If I had given you this at overnight, she might have been overtaken, and yet she writes, pursuit would be but vain. What angel shall bless this unworthy husband? He cannot thrive unless her prayers, whom heaven delights to hear and loves to grant, reprieve him from the wrath of greatest justice. Right, Rinaldo, to this unworthy husband of his wife, let every word weigh heavy of her worth, that he does weigh too light. My greatest grief, though little he do feel it, set down sharply. Dispatch the most convenient messenger, when haply he shall hear that she is gone. He will return, and hope I may that she, hearing so much, will speed her foot again, led hither by pure love, Which of them both is dearest to me? I have no sense, no skill in sense, to make distinction. Provide this messenger. My heart is heavy, and mine age is weak. Grief would have tears, and sorrow bids me speak. What? Scene 5. A tucket afar off. Enter old widow of Florence, her daughter Diana, Violenta, and Mariana, with other citizens. Nay, come, for if they do approach the city, we shall lose all the sight. They say the French count has done most honorable service. It is reported that he has taken their greatest commander, and that with his own hand he slew the duke's brother. We have lost our labor, they are gone a contrary way. Hark, you may know by their trumpets. Come, let's return again, and suffice ourselves with the report of it. Well, Diana, take heed of this French earl. The honor of a maid is her name, and no legacy is so rich as honesty. I have told my neighbor how you have been solicited by a gentleman, his companion. I know that knave, hang him. One Parol's a filthy officer he is in those suggestions for the young earl. Beware of them, Diana. Their promises, enticements, oaths, tokens, and all these engines of lust are not the things they go under. Many a maid hath been seduced by them, and the misery is example that so terrible shows in the rack of maidenhood cannot for all that dissuade succession, but that they are limed with the twigs that threatens them. I hope I need not to advise you further, but I hope your grace will keep you where you are, though there were no further danger known but the modesty which is so lost. You shall not need to fear me. I hope so. Look, here comes a pilgrim. I know she will lie at my house. Thither they send one another. I'll question her. God save you, pilgrim, whither are you bound? To St. Jacques le Grand. Where do the Palmers lodge, I do beseech you? At the St. Francis here beside the port. Is this the way? Ay, Mary, is it? Hark you, they come this way. If you will tarry, holy pilgrim, but till the troops come by, I will conduct you where you shall be lodged, the rather for I think I know your hostess as ample as myself. Is it yourself? If you shall please so, pilgrim. I thank you, and will stay upon your leisure. You came, I think, from France. I did so. Here you shall see a countryman of yours that has done worthy service. His name, I pray you? The Count Rousillon, know you such a one? But by the ear that hears most nobly of him, his face I know not. Whatsoever he is, he's bravely taken here. He stole from France, as 'tis reported, for the king had married him against his liking. Think you it is so? Ay, surely, mere the truth. I know this lady. There is a gentleman that serves the count reports but coarsely of her. What's his name? Monsieur Paroles. Oh, I believe with him, in argument of praise or to the worth of the great count himself, she is too mean to have her name repeated. All her deserving is a reserved honesty, and that I have not heard examined. Alas, poor lady, 'tis a hard bondage to become the wife of a detesting lord. I warrant, good creature, wheresoever she is, her heart weighs sadly. This young maid might do her a shrewd turn if she pleased. How do you mean? May be the amorous count solicits her in the unlawful purpose. He does indeed, and brokes with all that can in such a suit corrupt the tender honor of a maid. But she is armed for him, and keeps her guard in honestest defense. The gods forbid else. So now they come. That is Antonio, the Duke's eldest son, that Escalus. Which is the Frenchman? He, that with the plume. 'Tis a most gallant fellow. I would he loved his wife. If he were honester, he were much goodlier. Is it not a handsome gentleman? I like him well. 'Tis pity he is not honest. Yond's that same knave that leads him to these places. Were I his lady, I would poison that vile rascal. Which is he? That jack in apes with scarfs. Why is he melancholy? Perchance he's hurt I the battle. Loose our drum well. He's shrewdly vexed at something. Look, he has spied us. Marry, hang you, and your courtesy for a ring carrier. The troop is past. Come, pilgrim, I will bring you where you shall host. Of enjoined penitents there's 4 or 5, to great St. Jack's bound, already at my house. I humbly thank you. Please, it is this matron and this gentle maid to eat with us tonight. The charge and thanking shall be for me. And to requite you further, I will bestow some precepts of this virgin-worthy note. Will take your offer kindly.
Lo. Agua.
Scene 6. Enter Bertram, Count Rousillon, and the 2 French lords. Nay, good my lord, put him to it, let him have his way. If your lordship find him not a hilding, hold me no more in your respect. On my life, my lord, a bubble. Do you think I am so far deceived in him? Believe it, my lord, in mine own direct knowledge, without any malice. But to speak of him as my kinsman, he's a most notable coward, an infinite and endless liar, an hourly promise breaker, to the owner of no one good quality worthy of your lordship's entertainment. It were fit you knew him, lest reposing too far in his virtue, which he hath not, he might at some great and trusty business in a main danger fail you. I would I knew in what particular action to try him. None better than to let him fetch off his drum, which you hear him so confidently undertake to do. I, with a troop of the Florentines, will suddenly surprise him. Such I will have, whom I am sure he knows not from the enemy. We will bind and hoodwink him so, that he shall suppose no other but that he is carried into the leaguer of the adversaries, when we bring him to our own tents. But be but your lordship present at his examination. If he do not, for the promise of his life, and in the highest compulsion of base fear, offer to betray you, and to deliver all the intelligence in his power against you, and that with the divine forfeit of his soul upon oath, never trust my judgment in anything. Oh, for the love of laughter, let him fetch his drum. He says he has a stratagem for it. When your lordship sees the bottom of his success in it, and to what metal this counterfeit lump of ore will be melted, if you give him not a John Drum's entertainment, your inclining cannot be removed. Here he comes. Enter Paroles. Oh, for the love of laughter, hinder not the honor of his design. Let him fetch off his drum in any hand. How now, monsieur? This drum sticks sorely in your disposition. A pox on it, let it go, 'tis but a drum. But a drum? Is it but a drum? A drum so lost. There was excellent command to charge in with our horse upon our own wings, and to rend our own soldiers. That was not to be blamed in the command of the service. It was a disaster of war that Caesar himself could not have prevented. If he had been there to command, well, we cannot greatly condemn our success, some dishonor we had in the loss of that drum, but it is not to be recovered. It might have been recovered. It might, but it is not now. It is to be recovered, but that the merit of the service is seldom attributed to the true and exact performer. I would have that drum or another, or hic jacet. Why, if you have a stomach to it, monsieur, if you think your mystery and stratagem can bring this instrument of honor again into his native quarter, be magnanimous in the enterprise, and go on. I will grace the attempt for a worthy exploit. If you speed well in it, the Duke shall both speak of it, and extend to you what further becomes his greatness, even to the utmost syllable of your worthiness. By the hand of a soldier, I will undertake it. But you must not now slumber in it. I'll about it this evening, and I will presently pen down my dilemmas, encourage myself in my certainty, put myself into my mortal preparation, and by midnight look to hear further from me. May I be bold to acquaint his grace you are gone about it? I know not what the success will be, my lord, but the attempt I vow. I know thou art valiant, and to the possibility of thy soldiership will subscribe for thee. Farewell. I love not many words, no more than a fish loves water. Is it not this strange fellow, my lord, that so confidently seems to undertake this business, which he knows is not to be done, damns himself to do, and dares better be damned than to do it? You do not know him, my lord, as we do. Certain it is that he will steel himself into a man's favor, and for a week escape a great deal of discoveries, but when you find him out, you have him ever after. Why, do you think he will make no deed at all of this that so seriously he does address himself unto? None in the world, but return with an invention, and clap upon you 2 or 3 probable lies. But we have almost embossed him. You shall see his fall tonight, for indeed he is not for your lordship's respect. We'll make you some sport with the fox ere we case him. He was first smoked by the old Lord Lafeu. When his disguise and he is parted, tell me what a sprat you shall find him, which you shall see this very night. I must go look my twigs, he shall be caught. Your brother, he shall go along with me. As it please your lordship, I'll leave you. Now will I lead you to the house and show you the lass I spoke of. But you say she's honest. That's all the fault. I spoke with her but once, and found her wondrous cold. But I sent to her, by this same coxcomb that we have I the wind, tokens and letters which she did resend, and this is all I have done. She's a fair creature. Will you go see her? With all my heart, my lord. Scene 7. Enter Helen and Widow. If you misdoubt me that I am not she, I know not how I shall assure you further, but I shall lose the grounds I work upon. Though my estate be fallen, I was well born, nothing acquainted with these businesses, and would not put my reputation now in any staining act. Nor would I wish you. First give me trust. The Count he is my husband, and what you to your sworn counsel I have spoken is so from word to word, and then you cannot, by the good aid that I of you shall borrow, err in bestowing it. I should believe you, for you have showed me that which well approves your great in fortune. Take this purse of gold, and let me buy your friendly help thus far, which I will overpay and pay again, when I have found it. The Count he woos your daughter, lays down his wanton siege before her beauty, resolved to carry her, let her in fine consent, as will direct her how 'tis best to bear it. Now his important blood will not deny that she'll demand. A ring in the county wears, that downward hath succeeded in his house from son to son, some 4 or 5 descents, since the first father wore it. This ring he holds in most rich choice, yet in his idle fire, to buy his will, it would not seem too dear, however repented after. Now I see the bottom of your purpose. You see it lawful, then. It is no more, but that your daughter, ere she seems as one, desires this ring, appoints him an encounter, in fine delivers me to fill the time, herself most chastely absent. After to marry her, I'll add 3,000 crowns to what is past already. I have yielded, instruct my daughter how she shall persevere, that time and place with this deceit so lawful may prove coherent. Every night he comes with musics of all sorts, and songs composed. To her unworthiness it nothing steads us to chide him from our eaves, for he persists as if his life lay on it. Why then tonight let us essay our plot, which if it speed is wicked meaning in a lawful deed, and lawful meaning in a lawful act, where both not sin and yet sinful fact, but let's about it. End of Act 3. All's well that ends well. Praise God, Jesus Christ, Jah Rastafari. Bless William Shakespeare.